Hi everyone, this is Atya Balaji here. I welcome you all to this masterclass on prompt engineering. This is the week three content. The week three mainly deals with domain specific prompting techniques. Before this, we have discussed in week two intermediate level of prompting, and before that, in the week one, we have discussed the basic types of or different types of prompting, and we have also had two hands-on session both on week one and week two session, that is the theory content also. So let us carry on with our week three content. So what is that we'll be going through in the week three content is that uh, here in this week three we directly go into the domain level specialization. So basically you'll be mastering how to design precise high impact prompts tailored for different industries. Okay, now when I say a different industry, it can be from education, that is research, to healthcare or legal or business strategy. So here in this particular week, what is that we are going to do basically is we are going to actually write or see how to write a prompt uh, for each different types of industries. Okay, so we'll start with education, we'll go into healthcare. Okay, so each area we will pick one areas which are most widely used, and then we will see how precisely we can write a prompt for that, what are the format and what are the tips to be included while writing a prompt for a specific domain. Okay, so that is what we'll be seeing a domain language and technical vocabulary, ontology aware prompting, like the structure in which way the prompting should be done, case based scenarios, we'll look into that also, structuring the output generation, that is in which particular format we want, table, JSON, or whatever format is that is required for us. And then specialized task formats are also there, like for example, if you are from an educational background and you want to frame a syllabus, okay, or you are into an healthcare, or you want to diagnose a problem, you have a medical report, you want to chat GPT to go through that report, or AI to go through that report and diagnose the report, so that can also be done. And the SWOT analysis, that is the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Okay, so these are some of the topics that we'll be discussing in the week three. So stay tuned and let's go through it. So the first thing is prompting for the education. Okay, so here we use prompts to simulate lesson planning, content delivery, assessment design, and learning strategies. Basically, if you're from the education sector, okay, so if you're from the education sector, then you might be have uh, issues with actually lesson planning, because the syllabus are very huge, and the required time to complete the syllabus is sometimes very less, because of sometimes unnecessary holidays, leaves, or sometimes some due to some unforeseen conditions or reasons you might not be able to take the classes. So you need a proper lesson planning to complete your syllabus. And content delivery is very important thing, so in which way you can actually deliver an effective content to the student. And assessment actually basically completes the loop. So once you deliver the lecture, you take the assessment. Based on the scores of the assessment, you can actually identify how well was your content received by the students, and what are the different learning strategies that you can implement, so that the students are always intact throughout the course of the semesters. So there are few examples that I have actually included. So first one of them is a create a 5-day Python basic course for the college students. So you want to conduct a short Python course for the students. Okay, so you can give a prompt like this if they are having a very short break, or you want to like to conduct a workshop for the students. So this will really help you a lot. Okay, and now for example, you can also use another type of prompting, where you tell the ChatGPT to summarize Newton's law for an eighth grade student using analogies. Okay, so now here what you're going to you're actually telling the ChatGPT on one side your issue is the Newton's law, but you're also telling the target audience. Okay, so you're telling that my target audience is an eighth grade student, so that gives the opportunity to the ChatGPT to bring down the Newton's law to a level that can be understood by the eighth grade student. Now, the next one is to design three multiple choice questions on Pythagorean theorem. So this can be used as an assessment once you're done with explanation of Pythagorean theorem. Okay. So this is about the prompting for education. Very very useful in for presently and the current scenarios of education. So a basic structure, okay, basic format structure, how you can actually, so you can give the topic, that is photosynthesis, learning objective, explain the process to the sixth graders, and visual aid, yeah, add some diagram, and summary should be just 2 lines. So this is how you give the prompt to the chat GPT in a very effective way, which can get you a precise output. Now, coming to the exercise, I've been always a very strong supporter of carrying out exercises because it actually enables or strengthens a person's ability to learn and master that particular skill. The more and more exercise you do, you will become more and more better at that particular task. Sorry. So here is the prompt model for that. Design a lesson plan in your subject area. You can select any particular subject area. You may be a college student. You might be into Python, Java, C programming. So you can give a chat GPT a prompt like design a lesson plan in particular so and so area. And then you can also ask chat GPT generate 3 quiz questions on that particular lesson plan, so that once you study it and you can then try the quiz for yourself. Simplify a complex concept for different education levels. Okay, so these are some of the prompt models that you can actually apply. Now here what you can do is you not directly take these prompts and directly use it. Maybe you will have to modify it based on the content or the topic that you are actually doing. Okay, one of the sample questions that is normally asked with the prompting on education is, how does specifying the education level affect the response? Now, this is very obvious thing, that because if the chat GPT knows the audience, it tailors the output to that particular audience, and it is very much helpful and better well received by that particular target audience. Okay, so it adjusts the complexity. So it adjusts the complexity to the level of the audience vocabulary, so that the audience can understand. See, if the chat GPT gives a much technical content that cannot be understood by sixth grade, then the entire idea of the prompting itself is not very well met to your requirement. Okay, so the audience is very very important. So when you specify the education level, at what level you want the output, that actually gives a very much clarity on the complexity, vocabulary, and the tone, making the content more relatable and age appropriate. So the next one is prompting for healthcare and wellness. Now we have seen that as post COVID, most of us, we have become more and more health conscious. Okay, so I wouldn't suggest to actually take completely depend on Chat GPT. Okay, it is not like that. We always have to depend on the doctors. Okay, that is for sure. But sometimes, okay, sometimes like to just to have a basic knowledge of a few of the things. Okay, I think ChatGPT is very beneficial in that area. For example, you have a sudden cold and cough. You can actually write a prompt for ChatGPT specifying your symptoms. Okay, like I have given here, symptoms is a headache. Okay, possible causes it gives you, and when to seek help. So when you ask a question, ChatGPT can give you an output like this. Okay, so so in that way, health prompting for healthcare and wellness will work. So what basically happens here is that the ChatGPT generates prompts for, you can actually generate prompts for healthcare education, symptoms, analysis, fitness plans, and diet suggestions. Okay, so but I've also added that always use disclaimer for medical use. Okay, so you have to make sure that you not blindly follow it, but also verify it with or consult with your doctor also. So, for example, is that one of the prompt is like you are a fitness coach. You are telling ChatGPT, the boss, you are the fitness coach. Now create me a beginner-friendly 7-day home workout plan. Now the ChatGPT will create it for you. Summarize three common causes and treatments for migraine and in bullet point. Okay, convert medical jargon into patient friendly language. Okay, so these are some of the, because those medical languages are very difficult to understand, so you can ask the chat gpt to convert it into a very easy language. Now the exercise for you when it comes to the healthcare area is that you can ask the chat gpt to generate a three meal vegetarian diet plan for diabetes. Okay, and translate a medical article to grade 8 level. So for example, you have a medical report, but you can ask the chat gpt to go through the report and translate it in such a way that it can be understood by a 8th class student also. Okay, and then ask the ai to evaluate your prompts for ethical safety. So this is one of the form of a feedback prompt. Okay, some of the or some or like a basic sample question that can be asked on this particular topic of healthcare and fitness is that why is the role specification like you are certified critical in healthcare prompting? Because it improves the trust and the accuracy by simulating a domain authority and guiding tone and content boundaries. Okay, because it makes the chat gpt to attain that persona and advise you from that point of view. Now, the next type of prompting is for business and marketing. Now, this is one of the hot areas as of now in the corporate world, and most of us we use ChatGPT in this particular area. So, if you are into this area, and I think ChatGPT is for you. Okay, so you can design prompts for business planning, content strategy, competitive analysis, and customer segmentations. Okay, like an example, create a 30-day Instagram content calendar for fitness brand. Okay, so you are into a branding area. You can ask the chat GPT to create a 30-day Instagram Instagram content calendar so that you can share each day one content for next 30 days. Or you can tell chat GPT to analyze the competitor strategy for Nike using SWOT analysis. Write a three line ad copy for a productivity app using AIDA model. Now, these are some of the what do you call example prompts that actually you can use if you are into business and marketing. I've just added few of the examples that I thought were relevant. You can define your own. Okay, and here the prompt tip is that you can use frameworks like, if you remember in the for the day one hands-on, I had used few of the framework like race, care, tag. Okay, ape is there, create is there, roses is there. Okay, so like that various frameworks are there. So SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. AIDA is that is ADA is the attention, interest, desire, and action. Okay, and then STP is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Now these are some of the frameworks that are mainly used in the business in the marketing area. So you can use this as well with your prompting, which will generate you a better output. Now, when it comes to exercise, like you can ask the ChatGPT to generate a product pitch for an eco-friendly water bottle, and ask the AI itself to role play as the sale analyst. Okay, analyst, and use prompt chaining to draft, refine, and finalize the marketing email. So these are some of the things that you can actually do if you're into marketing in the business domain. Now, if you see all these things, these are some of most of the things have been taken from the basic foundation classes where we discussed about the types of the prompts, different types of prompts. Okay, so if you see draft and refine, this from the week 2 content, and role play is from the week 1 content. So that's why I say the more and more you practice the prompt, in the future it becomes easier for you to write complex prompts. So one of the basic question that is asked on this particular, that is the prompting on business and marketing, is that what is the advantage of applying business frameworks inside prompt? So what normally happens is it aligns AI structure with the real world methodologies, ensuring the output is practical and decision focused. So when you give a particular framework like IDA or SWOT, so it basically makes the ChatGPT to structure the output with real world methodologies, okay, ensuring output is practical and decision focused. Now, the next one is the prompting for legal and policy domains. Okay, so if you're into the legal domains, also you can use ChatGPT, but not to a much more extent, only for some of the things. Okay, so you can use prompts to summarize legal documents, because legal documents are way huge. It takes a lot of time to actually go through line by line. But if you're in a hurry, you can ask the ChatGPT to summarize the legal document. Okay, and simulate policy debate. Okay, and convert legalese to plain language. Okay, so basically some of the legal terms are very difficult to understand, so you can ask the chat gpt to actually convert into the very plain language that can be understood by you. So example prompts like summarize the Information Technology Act in 5 key points. So Information Technology Act is very huge, so it becomes very difficult for a common person to understand. There are a lot of legal terms. It takes a lot of time to understand. But if you give it to ChatGPT and say that you want to understand it in just 5 key points, okay, then that is something very much beneficial for you. Okay, you can also ask ChatGPT to draft a plain language rental agreement for Bangalore. Okay, so if you want to prepare a rental agreement, okay, you can ask the ChatGPT to prepare it for you. Okay, compare EU GDPR versus India data production bill. Okay, data protection bill in the table format. Okay, so this is also very much helpful. So these are some of the legal prompts that might help you. Okay, so what you can do is you can always ask here in the chat gpt, the structure output structuring is one of the topics that we studied in week 2. So you can ask the chat gpt to give the answer in the table format for comparison, or in the JSON format, or you can also use that with a role. You are a data privacy lawyer arguing against the data scraping. Now based on that, simulate a debate, okay, with roles. So these are some of the things that actually will help you to actually write a prompt if you're into legal domain. Okay, so the exercise again, I have specifically added minimum three types of exercise for each type of prompting. So now here is, you need to upload any privacy policy or a copy and tell the chat gpt to summarize it. Okay, and draft a simple 3 clause contract using prompts. So you can take any of the area, like land, leasing a land, leasing a home, or anything. For that you can add a 3 clause contract using the prompting. Translate the legal terms to common English. That is the first one, and the second one are almost same. Okay, a sample question on this is, what are the risks that are there when prompting in legal domains? Some What happens is that when you give everything at a time, the AI may hallucinate legal advice. There's always validate with real lawyers, or validate with real time data, whatever you are having. Okay, and use disclaimers wherever possible. So the next one is the prompting for the research and academic writing. This is very much helpful for the people who are into education domain, or who are doing their PhD, okay, or uh, who are into writing or academic writing. Okay, so normally what happens is that prompting with AI normally to assist. It can assist you with the thesis structuring, citations, abstract writing, and literature review assistance. Okay, so these are some of the things that basically ChatGPT can do it for you if you are into research. Okay, so you can actually tell that, give a prompt like summarize 3 recent studies three recent studies on climate change adaptation. And you can also give a timeline that is from 2020 to 2024. If there is any studies that are carried out in the climate change, give me the three recent ones. Generate a problem statement for a thesis on the renewable energy forecasting. This is one of the very good areas in I would say in the renewable energy sector as of now. Okay, rephrase the following paragraph in a formal academic tone. Okay, these are some of the things that you can actually use it for your research. That is the basic level of prompts that I have added here as an example. Okay, the tip is that always use reference citing prompts. Okay, so you can say when you're giving a prompt according to the recent findings, you can name the author, the year, or you can give the link. That is, you're telling the chapter based on this so and so. Give me the research gaps, or give me another content or similar to. You're giving just an example or a reference thing to a chat GPT. This basically helps the chat GPT to give the output in a very much structured and efficient way. Now again, the coming to the exercise, you can ask the chat GPT to design a literature review skeleton on a particular topic. You can define a topic and tell the chat GPT to prepare the literature review skeleton. Skeleton means the format for the particular topic. You can generate citations in APA format. Okay, and you can paraphrase two technical paragraphs into a simple English for your understanding, because research papers are very highly technical and sometimes it takes a lot of time to actually understand. So you can ask the chat GPT to explain it in a very simple way. Okay, so sorry. So sample question on this is that why should researchers use AI cautiously? Sometimes what happens is that the not sometimes, most of the times AI hallucinate, and it may fabricate sources or misunderstand, okay, some claims, and verification is essential for that. Okay, it gives you some type of output or some content which is not at all there because it is hallucinating. So you need to verify your each data that you take out of the chat GPT. Now, prompting for coding and development. This for the students, okay, very, very beneficial. Okay, you can generate codes, fix bugs, explain algorithm, design software logic with prompting. This is very, very useful for the students. Okay, so you can tell the ChatGPT to write a Python function to parse JSON and the count unique values. Okay, so ChatGPT will actually write the code. Okay, it will give you the output also, expected output also. Why? Because this is the prompting with external tools that we studied in the second week. Okay, so ChatGPT is already connected with the external tools like Python. Okay, so then you can ask the ChatGPT to convert the pseudo code to Java also, so it will convert it into Java. Okay, and you can ask it to explain a particular thing in a better way. You can ask the ChatGPT to explain binary search to a high school student. At that level, it will explain. Okay, and you can ask the ChatGPT to use markdown or code blocks. Okay, like Python and all, whenever you are giving an output. So that is very much well understood. Okay, so for example, if is uses a markdown, it gives the heading for each and every part of a code. Then what happens, it becomes very much easier for you to understand. Okay, so and if comments is also added for each particular line of code, then it becomes again very much beneficial for you to understand what is this particular code, how does that particular code actually gets executed, or what is the importance, or how does it work. This actually helps you in case of any debugging also. So again, the exercise, generate the code, ask the AI to explain it. You can tell the ChatGPT to write the code for any particular topic and then ask the ChatGPT to actually explain it. Okay, debug a broken code sample. It is 100% sure whatever code or what whenever you're doing any project, you will not get an exact perfect code. You will have to debug again and again. So That way ChatGPT will help you a lot. Okay, I'm speaking the terms. For example, if you're doing any project on solar forecasting, okay, so you take a part of a code, you run it, but it doesn't run it, it will throw you an error. Then what you can do is you can again take that error and again give it back to the same input, that is the ChatGPT, and tell that to modify the code based on the above error. So that is known as debugging a broken code. Chain prompting, okay, you can build, you can optimize, and then you can test. Okay, these are some of the things that you can do in the prompting, in the coding area, okay, using the chat gpt or any llm model. Okay, one of the basic questions that is asked on this particular topic is that why use step-by-step prompting in programming? Because it clarifies the logic, ensures error detection, and supports layered learning. Okay, because at a go, if every full code is given for a particular task, then it becomes very difficult for you to understand the entire code and execute it. So finally the project. Okay, so week one we are done with the project, week two we are done with the project. Both of them were the journal book for you. Now the week three is that a cross domain prompting mastery. Okay, so what you can do is that you can pick any three different domains. Okay, health, law, and education, just an example, and you can design two role based prompts for each domain, for health, for law, for education, and then ask the chat gpt for a feedback to how to improve that particular prompt. Again, do an iteration and compare the results for creativity, clarity, and accuracy. This way you would have mastered the prompting for a specific domain. Specific prompting, you would have really mastered it. Let it be health, let it be legal, let it be education, okay, or let it be coding, anything, but you would have mastered it. Okay, so this is one of the exercise that I put up for you. Please do actually practice it. The more and more you actually practice it, you will become, not rightly that whatever prompt that I have written will be perfect or precise. Who knows, maybe you can write a better prompt than whatever I have showed you in the example. Okay, that is also fine. So there are millions of ways of writing a code for a particular topic. Okay, so it all depends on the user input. So you design your particular prompt for a particular area that you can select, like three areas mainly. Here I've given taken examples of health, law, and education. So it is up to you whichever area you want. Sports you can take, or you can take for example, that is the marketing or business. Like that, any area you can take, and you can prepare two role based prompts and then evaluate it, and then ask the chat gpt itself to like compare the results after iteration. Okay, so this was the content for the week 2. Not much, sorry, week 3, not much in the week 3 content. I It was very simple and plain. Just a few explanation on the each area or each domain specific, and then few examples on each domain that we rightly we started off with education, healthcare, and all. So just example based session. So I hope you would have understood all the topics. So go through the exercise that I've just displayed on. Okay, practice more and more. The more and more you practice, you will be near to your like prompt journal diary that will help you in future. Okay, so that will be all for today's lecture on week 3 content. Shortly we'll also have a hands-on for the week 3 content, and then we'll have the final week 4 content that will be ending our 30 days of masterclass on the prompt engineering. And maybe after that you will be an expert in prompt engineering, let it be chat gpt, gemini, okay, or notebook llm. So let it be anything, but if you are well aware of prompting, that is the language of talking with an ai, then no matter what whichever software is there, okay, you can do well in that particular area. Okay, so thank you all for joining into this session. Okay, please go through each and every content. uh, these are very as I said, very raw and very simple content. So whatever I've learned, I'm just putting it out on the PPT and trying to explain in the best possible way. Okay, so if you truly like it, okay, so give it a like and please do subscribe and share. Okay, thank you. Please do take care.